So Pulsechain has higher throughput, better security, lower environmental impact to the point of nearly none, is a newer coin with more features, is faster than Bitcoin. But Bitcoin has an $800 billion market cap. Pulsechain doesn't. Why? Well, we're new. We're on the way, right? Things will get better, in my opinion. So, like, oh, and for you listening, is that a forward-looking price statement? Nope, not a forward-looking price statement, not financial advice. So we've got a wonderful network. We've got wonderful features. We've got wonderful airdrop. There's, you can do lending on the Pulsechain network. There's projects that let you borrow coins. There's projects that there's stable coins on Pulsechain. There's all types of stuff people have launched on Pulsechain. Guys, the network is good. Works great. Oh, and the bridge is free too. Somebody set the bridge to 0 fee so that using the bridge has no fee, both directions. So if you go to bridge.pulsechain.com, there's no fees currently. In, out, either way, no fees. Now you're going to pay a fee on the Ethereum network. Nothing you can do about that. That's Ethereum's side, right? So you got a great network and you got a ton of free coins. And it's been worked flawlessly for 7 months. Go make it great, guys. Launch stuff on it, use it, build fiat on-ramps, make a money transmitter in your state, make a licensed money transmitter in your state, and you can, make the community better. Like,
Hey everybody, and welcome back to another day on Pulsechain. Day one, is it? Wrapping up of year two. So we're going to have a lot of fun. We're going to talk about Richard Hart and, of course, Pulsechain year two outlook. We're going to cover that briefly. And, of course, let's get into the chat. We got Sandy Beach in the house, nice and early. Day 13 of the Burpees and Jumping Jacks Challenge. Hey, Sandy, always cool. And, of course, that is the link to that challenge there if you want to get into the health and fitness. Big shout out to Sandy for that. All right, we're going to jump straight into it, folks. We're going to get into the beginning of the stock market for the day. We're going to kick it off for the Monday, of course, and see what has been happening there. Then we get into the crypto updates as usual. Get into the chat there, make it lively, and let's go for gold. All right, so looks like this S&P 500 pretty flat ahead of inflation data that's coming up. So let's see what the results were. We had the Dow Jones for Monday, down 0.2%, 81 points to 39,431. S&P 500 pretty flat, down one point to 5,221. And the Nasdaq though showing a bit of green, and that is up 0.3%, 47 points to 16,388. So that's holding up pretty well. I don't know if we're going to get commodities. We're going to get commodities. No, that disappears for some reason. So we're going to move down into the expected news around inflation. So inflation data to dominate market focus. Investor sentiment on risk assets remains cautious as investors look ahead to key inflation data this week, with the producer price index and consumer price index due on Tuesday and Wednesday, respectively. So Tuesday, Wednesday, get some inflation data going to be pretty important for the markets. The lower, the better, of course. And of course, the data are set to arrive following a string of hotter than expected inflation reports in Q1 that forced investors to not only push out rate cuts bets, but reduce the number of cuts expected to just 2 for the year. The data arrived just as Fed speakers continue to signal higher for longer interest rates. Fed Vice Chair Philip Jefferson said Monday the current levels of interest rates is appropriate until further signs of that inflation is on a sustainable path towards 2%. So obviously those two indicators there, the producers price index and the consumer price index are going to be pretty important in that interest rate cut. So Tuesday, Wednesday, let's see how we get on. So that's pretty much it on the stock market. Leading us into crypto, Bitcoin at the moment, $62,900, up at 2.1%. So Bitcoin having a nice little push back up. And of course, the Bitcoin dominance even stronger today, 52.9, almost at 53%. So that's looking really good. We can see Bitcoin Cash is up. Ethereum is up 2,900 and almost 0.5% there, for just over 0.4%, $2,948. Not over 3,000 yet though, but certainly heading in the right direction. Pretty mixed across the board though. So Bitcoin really leading the way, which is always the typical move, right, for a better market in the future. So not too bad. We've got Solana up a little bit, 2.4%. XRP is up almost 0.9% there, 50 cents. The meme coins are doing pretty well. So we've got Pepe up there. Pepe is up almost 13%, quadruple 0.1 on the Pepe. Meme coins also green, up almost 5%, 4% for Dodge and SHIB. So doing pretty well there. That is pretty much it. We're going to zoom in on Bitcoin. Bitcoin heading back to that 50-day moving average. Woohoo! You know, we looked at this the other day. Typically a month or two that we've got that volatility after the halving. And there we are. We're heading back up here at the moment to 50-day moving average, which is currently at $63,348. We're not too far from that. We're just below at 62,889. So that's kind of good news there. Let's jump over to Ethereum. Ethereum, though, still got a bit more work to do. And, of course, we've seen a little bit of a rollover here in Ethereum. And, of course, here we are at $2,947. We just finished the day here 6 minutes ago. So it's a brand new candle. So yesterday we got as low as 2,864, high of 2,994. So just shy of 3,000. The 50-day moving average at the moment is 3,140. So we've got a bit of work to get back there, about $100. So $100 to get back up to that 50-day moving average. Remember, Ethereum is the one that hasn't actually breached its all-time high so far. Of course, 4,900 got to about 4,100. So we've still got a bit of work to do there, and we're getting closer to the Ethereum approvals there, but still a while away, and we're not expecting really an approval there. 9 days at the moment, so that will probably all get pushed out further, is what we suspect. Now, I know there has been there's a pretty large crypto influence out there talking about some insider information about the ETF suddenly getting approved as a surprise. Well, that's kind of an outlier there. Bloomberg analysts not expecting that to happen at the stage, so they probably got the best opinion on it. So we shall see. But that's kind of where we are at the moment. Surprise would certainly be good for Ethereum, but not with the ETS, but I'm not expecting it. Right. That leads us into Richard Hart. We're going to talk about Richard Hart's post today, but before we do that, let's catch up on a few more comments. We've got Solid in the house there. Hello all, good to see Solid. Big shout out to you. And Wookie on the spot says, Wookie's dog has a bucket on his head just like Super's cat. Nice one there, Wookie. Well, the cat's free now. Now, I was going to say one thing is that it is day 4. It is day 4 for the Pulsechain conference. Matty Allen's running. So that's going to be pretty cool. Remember, the keynote speaker today for that is going to be Ben Armstrong. So he's going to be instead of Richard Hart's usual spot on the final day. So Ben Armstrong there, formerly the biggest crypto influencer on the planet. But of course, he's trying to build back there as well, and seems to have aligned himself pretty well with the Pulsechain community as one of his mainstays in his commentaries. So it's been kind of good as well. All right, let's get back into it. We're going to get into Richard Hart stuff here. Now, we're obviously this title video is Richard Hart and the Pulsechain Year 2 Outlook. So we're going to talk about that. I'm expecting more information as we flow into the year 2. Obviously, we're going to have more projects launching. But in terms of Richard's, his posts about the 1-year anniversary, there was a few little blues clues. First of all, he's still heading up. This is 23 hours ago, still heading up, promoting his change, right? Pulsechain. So very, very cool to see the strong leadership there from Richard. Multiple posts yesterday. So that's the first bullish thing there from Richard Hart, and of course with the outlook for Pulsechain, the leadership's always important. Now we know that obviously blockchain, they're supposed to be trustless and all this sort of stuff, and you know how it rolls. But it's always good to have personalities, right? Personalities always do very well. Obviously Ada with Hodgkinson and others, and obviously Crypto Jesus from Bitcoin Cash just has been under pressure as well. So. This leadership is pretty important. Vitalik for Ethereum, etc. To have one of those top branding leaders like Richard Hart with his own characteristics and branding and stuff. Kind of the rebel, actually. Richard Hart's kind of the rebel of crypto, so it's really important to have leadership and him communicating. And so he's been doing that, which I think was really, really cool. So yesterday, this is his last post. Hex on Pulsechain. Pulse Incentive have 1 year of flawless operation. So really just saying, hey, look, everything is going pretty well. The chain is operating very well compared to a lot of other chains out there like Solana and other things having control and stoppages, second layers having potential stoppages and control. You don't get that on Pulsechain, right? It's a really full decentralized from that point of view. Pulsex has near a year. Can you believe it? Pulsex has near a year. A thriving, a vibrant open source community publishing immutable speech on the blockchain, which has been, part of his court case as well. 1,500 times cheaper fees than Bitcoin and saving the environment. Go pulse time percentage from an all-time high. So he was posting a couple of key metrics, obviously around the prices of Pulsechain over the all-time low. So he's posted the chart all-time low, just showing that Pulsechain was up yesterday up 85%. Pulsex up 195%, incentive up 708%. Obviously, incentive being a real stellar, and incentivizing people to go into liquidity and things like that. Hex, of course, up 66%. So those are off the lows so far for Pulsechain in a year. And of course, he also posted some transactions there, just showing that since the fork, which 10th of May, right, that 136,000 transactions on the chain from 12th of May. And of course, smart contracts, 162 million. Verified smart contracts, 26,000 out of that. So, the chain is doing pretty well. Also showing that the chain of Pulsechain is pretty cheap there, 275 times cheaper than Ethereum at 3 Gwei. And that's at 3 Gwei on Ethereum, which is insane. And of course, almost 1,500 times cheaper than Bitcoin, with Bitcoin pretty relatively cheap at that time, $1 the same Bitcoin. So some pretty cool stuff there from Richard. And obviously just showing some of the cool things that you can do in terms of submitting documents, stuff like that. So Richard really showing some leadership there, celebrating the year. Had 65,000 views on that so far in 23 hours. Now, the other one that I really like was before that, he said apparently Bitcoin has way less inflation than the dollar. So obviously talking about inflation on the Pulse chain. Ethereum has way less inflation than Bitcoin, and Pulse has way less inflation than Ethereum. Stats from Pulse CoinList, and of course the stats there we looked at yesterday, and Ultrasound Money 7-day stats. BTC has 5 times higher inflation than Pulse, and ETH has 3.5 times higher inflation than Pulse. So showing some really cool, the features, the benefits of Pulse chain, comparing those as well, which is pretty cool. And of course, we had before that, Pulse chain is so much safer than these layer 2 things. Look at all that cannot withdraw. That's the opposite of why crypto was invented. Obviously, we really love DeFi. Now, a lot of people go, they're on other chains, but a lot of those chains get stopped and all sorts of stuff, crazy stuff happens. I just saw one of the big yield farming influencers, and he was talking about the fact that he had to pull all his liquidity from Solana because he got stuck in there with all that liquidity, tens of thousands of dollars. And man, he was panicking on that, managed to get it out eventually, and he moved it all out into another chain. So, there are concerns over in these other chains and layer 2s and things like that. So you do need to be careful out there. Ethereum, then this one here, and this leads us into some of the stuff, the future looking stuff I really like from Richard. Ethereum is great, says Richard. And of course, pulsechain.com, this is from the 13th of May. Pulsechain.com is a layer 1 that's more decentralized, faster, has less base inflation, cheaper, tons of free coins, only a year old, and has been inheriting every upgrade Ethereum built upstream. It's got Geth and Aragon, Lighthouse and Prism. It's better than layer 2s, and it's so true. And it's safer. We're getting to the main event here because it's coming up. It's safer than layer 2s and even safer than Ethereum itself if you fear all the centralized staking services and control of massive number of validators. Of course, we've covered that before, like Rocket Pool. And I don't have that fear yet. I do prefer people host their own nodes as the blockchain is safer and more robust with independent nodes. So ticking away there. Now this gets us to the main event, and this has the least number of views on it, which is kind of funny. It is the last in the post, so maybe not a problem there. But 13,000 views on it. But this was the most bullish, apart from him posting about Pulsechain after year and all the good stuff about Pulsechain and being a real leader in that space. This was actually the bigger post that I really liked. So Pulsechain is much farther along in its first year than Bitcoin was. There is so much potential. So that's so much potential stuff. That is really exciting, and that he's leading with that. I think that's kind of the biggest blues clues there. Very excited about that comment there. So we're going to look for more of those sort of blues clues as we move into the year. Now, obviously, Richard has the court case coming up as well. I think that's scheduled for October. So we'll be looking for blues clues around that too. So it's going to be pretty neat. Now that leads us into maybe a theory that maybe we get a year and a month after the Pulsechain anniversary. Maybe that lines up nicely with the end of the volatility period on Bitcoin. And that's when Game On, maybe Game On is going to happen then. So that could be pretty fun, into June, late June or something like that. So we're going to keep a lookout for that. Blue's Clues leading us to that, confirm up that hypothesis, as it were, as a time will be ticking. There. All right, so that was from Richard. I thought that was pretty cool. Now we're going to be covering day 367, of course, with the Pulsechain results. Before we do that, let's catch up on any more comments as we proceed here. We got Probably You says great coverage. Hey, Probably You, big shout out to you. Appreciate that. We got Ben Miller as well. Good evening, Token fam. Hey Ben, hope you're doing well out there as well. We got Al Pacino in house there. Hey, sweet man, thank you for being here. Always look forward to catching you when I can. All the best to everyone on the Pulsechain on the anniversary. Freedom of speech and movement forever. Hey, I like that one, Al. That's a great summary. We got Tintop in the house as well. Hey, what's up? Hey, what's up, Tintop? What's up, Hex comes from Tintop there. Big shout out to you. And of course, SKB. Hey, in the house there, number one. First member ever on the channel. Big shout out to you. I've been loving the Pulsechain colored auroras, says SKB. Hey, nice one. Yeah, they are pretty cool indeed. All right, let's get into it. Now we're going to have cool things coming, like not just Richard's leadership and Blue's Clues dropping around the magic carpet ride, which we're keeping a close eye out for, but also a lot of the project teams on Pulsechain are continuing to build and roll out. We're going to get a lot of cool stuff from Tetra around from what is that? I just forgot the name now. Let me think. It's coming. It's going to come to Pateus. That's it, Pateus. So Pateus is going to bring us probably our first AI project, which is going to be exciting, and it could be at scale as well. So they've been running their learning, deep learning machines there on data, and that's going to be coming up. If they had a sacrifice, of course, I think they were heading towards 2 million. I think what they get to about 1.5 million, somewhere like that. And so that's coming in the future. That's going to be bring a big major AI. Now AI is going to be a big theme, right? We see it's a big theme on the stock market. We also see that chip makers like Nvidia and others, are building superstar processors for these AI machines, right? And so that's going to be pretty bullish. We saw back in 2017, I think it was a Transform AI system went up, and of course that surprised even the creators themselves as it started to use prediction models to learn things about predicting human behavior and all sorts of crazy stuff that they didn't expect. So it's going to be quite the revolution. Obviously, it needs to have some containment. You can't have something that's going to get that super processing power and super predictive power. Synthesizing human behavior. So we want more pragmatic tools that can obviously generalized AI and things like that, but it's going to be pretty big on Pulsechain, I think. So I'm looking forward to it. Tintop says Genius AI on Pulsechain is pretty cool too, says Tintop. Nice one. And yeah, I don't know if I picked up on that one, but good to see Tintop bring that to the discussion. What else? We got Sandy Beach says hello to everybody. Hey, Sandy Beach. So yeah, AI is going to be a big thing. The other one, of course, is Jacob's ecosystem. He's bringing tons of DeFi innovation to Pulsechain. So that's going to be some of the highlights coming up. We know that TYZZ on BNB chain, which is one of his projects, is going to be launching 15th and 16th. So Wednesday, Thursday, I guess. So that's going to come up. Is it 15th? Yeah, 15th. Yeah, Wednesday. So Wednesday US time. It's the 14th now our time, which is the 13th, I guess. So yeah, 15th, 16th is a TYZZ. So that's going to be launching. It's going to be basically revolutionary DeFi, maybe order books, centralized order books in DeFi. So that could be a real game changer. And the other thing, of course, is potentially Tetra's out there. They've got a number of kind of Web3 type technologies that are supposed to come to market. I haven't seen them yet. They seem to be pretty delayed, but I'm sure they must be coming down the pipeline. So we've got some real cool innovation stuff coming on the Pulsechain. It's just some of the key ones that we're keeping track of there. Might have to touch base on that Genesis AI as well. All right, so that's kind of cool stuff coming. And of course, there's many other teams doing cool things. I'm thinking of Dipcatcher, Alex McFurter, many others out there doing some wonderful things around Pulsechain. Liquid Loans looking at doing some major strategic partnership. Looking forward to some action on that front too, particularly around the on-ramp, off-ramp type of thing. Obviously, Coast as well, getting a new financial partner that could be out any week now. And of course, opening up even broader services to the fiat on ramp to Pulsechain and stuff like that. So it's going to be fun times ahead. And as you guys know, in terms of Jacob's ecosystem, before we move on, PUSD Algo, really looking forward to that. And of course, you guys can help support that by participating in that sacrifice for the PUSD Algo, probably potentially the world's first truly DeFi peer-to-peer stablecoin. So looking forward to that. And of course, you can get a bonus using the link in the video description for that. All right, that is pretty much it. Let's get into Pulsechain for the day. We've got day 367. Quadruple 0602 is the Pulsechain price, just down 2.7%, basically around 60% of the main sacrifice price at the moment. Pulse at the moment, quadruple 0256, down 3.8% today. So sitting at just 26% of the main sacrifice price there. The buy and burn ticking into the second year is now at 853 billion, 800 million. 4.21% of Pulsex is being bought up and burned. So now we're moving into that second year, going to continue to burn. And of course, the more volumes we get, the more burning we're going to have. Incentive token at the moment, $3.15, down 2.76% at 52. The ratio is at 52,455. So very bullish, still very bullish on the incentive ratio there. And of course, we've got the incentives in existence, 31.6 million incentive tokens in existence so far. And remember, they are emitted from the Pulsex V1 farm. So things are ticking along pretty nicely there. Hex at the moment, down 3.9% at 88, 88 hundredths of a penny, almost 89 hundredths of a penny. EHEX at 17 hundredths of a penny, no change from that from yesterday. That's pretty stable. Combined price of EHEX and PX at 1.06 cents there. So 1.06 cents, ticking away there at the moment. Now, all of this is still in the accumulation phase, obviously. So we're going to tick on for that. Let's go have a look at the charts here. Actually, I'm going to move that along here. Let's go look at Pulsechain. This is on the weekly on Pulsechain to just give us that longer term view. So we can see that we're pretty much, nothing's really changed much from yesterday. We pretty much bounced off that 5,400 mark, 3 weeks ago. And currently, we're at 6,000 at the moment. So a pretty important level at the moment, 6,000. The next level would be 5,400 again if we continue to break down. The RSI is pretty chill though at 36. So fingers crossed we managed to hold sort of this range where we are at the moment to move to the upside. In any case, it's still accumulation phase, as you guys can see. And of course, we broke down the other one. So we're looking for that horizontal support now since we broke down the angular support. All right, let's go to Pulsex at the moment. Pulsex also holding the angular support, so even doing slightly better with the angular support. And of course, it has held the horizontal support pretty well back here in November. This is on the weekly chart as well, weekly candles. And we pretty much held that 2,300 mark and bounced from that. And currently we're at 25, almost 2,600 on the price here. Still trying to hold this angular support here as well with the close. Hopefully it closes over there. That's kind of where we are at the moment. Looking at the daily for Pulsex, we're going to zoom in a little bit on that. So yeah, we were looking for a bit of a turn on this daily with the moving averages. We've got the 13 moving average, which is kind of like 2 weeks in the yellow, and we've got the 34 moving average, which is just over a month in the blue. And of course, this is starting to turn a little bit there, so that's bullish. What we want to see is that yellow cross over the blue line, so short term over the long term, and bounce off that angular support. That'd be very, very beautiful space there. Obviously, the RSI is 41, so it's definitely got plenty of room to move. On the weekly, we're pretty similar to Pulsechain. In fact, a little bit weaker than Pulsechain. That was at 41. We're at about 39, just under 40 here on the RSI for the weekly. So optimism here that maybe we'll round that out and move to the upside. Let's have a look at Pulsechain. Incentive token, I should say. And have a look at this. Like I say, this is still looking really good, the incentive token. This is the ratio to Pulse. So 52,444, holding over 50,000, pretty bullish. And with support, around 45,000. Obviously, you want to stay above that with that, otherwise you get the fear of breaking down, right? Breaking down the strength. So obviously you want to maintain the strength in this chart. And this is on the weekly as well. Currently 52,000. So looking very, very good at the moment is the incentive token. PHEX, of course, still accumulation zone on the daily. Not much to say about that. Let's go to the weekly here on this one. The weekly here at the moment, still pretty chill too. 42. It's actually slightly higher than even Pulsechain, just slightly. But certainly accumulation zone. Pretty easy to see in the chart, right? And we've had breakouts. But what we want to get is the ultimate breakout and start getting parabolics, right? So, we're looking at 2.4 cents. to really start moving into parabolic space and start get that big uptrend. That's kind of what we're waiting there for Pulsechain, for Hex on Pulsechain there, ticking away. Now, EHEX at the moment, obviously down 1700 of a penny. Still got plenty of upside to the BankX wall at 7/10 of a penny. Nothing much to say about that, just following the lead there of PHEX. Or sometimes it can go the other way, depending on who's playing with the charts. All right, so this is the daily chart here for the EHEX and PHEX combined price on investex.io, currently at 1.05 cents. So obviously, we're wanting to get that breakout over 3 cents and up and away. And leave the dust behind us. Leave the dust behind us there. So store accumulation zone, no change in that commentary today. Let's quickly go to the gas prices. 545,000 beats, so about 150% more than normal. Over 150% more than normal on the beats. 1 cent for Pulsex swap, 700th of a penny for a Pulsecoin transfer, 2/10 of a penny for a PRC20 transfer. Gwei on Ethereum is at 4, super low on Ethereum right now. 360 times cheaper than Ethereum, still with super low Gwei. And of course, the almost 1,660 times cheaper than Bitcoin, even higher than what Richard posted yesterday. So there we go. $1.14 it says here to send Bitcoin at the moment. So if you were to do a swap on Pulsex, about 1 cent. If you were to do a swap on Uniswap, up to $4.20. So it's still really, really cheap relative to that. And you can see, compared to all the other chains, we're still pretty cheap as well. Only Monero and Phantom are close in that regard. All right, let's go to the validators. Obviously, Pulsechain is fully decentralized with validators all around the world. We can see it in the cool map, which I really, really like. So there we go. We've got Pulsechain everywhere. We've got 48,892 validators at the moment. 1.56 trillion staked with the validators off the market. And of course, that's pretty similar to the last 2 days, I think it is. So kind of cool. And the bridge, our key number here, pretty much the same as yesterday. Sitting at just under 101. Sorry, just sitting under $108 million at the moment. Man, I got my tongue tied on that one. Just under $108 million on Pulsechain, pretty similar yesterday at the moment. All right, we're going to keep a little check on that. PDI at the moment, 34.4 million. So we'll just keep that tabs as well. And then look at some of these other stables. These are all our stable coins at the moment, so very important, particularly when the prices are down on Pulsechain. Those having nice, healthy stable coin supply is very important there. Obviously, we've got the bridge and stuff at the top, and we've got our four native stable coins at the bottom there: USDL, PXDC, XDC, CST, and maybe one day soon PUSD, which is going to be the ultimate DeFi, the ultimate Terra Luna done right as PUSD algo. That's the ambition there. I'm excited about. All right, so that's pretty much it for day 367. We've just started day 368. So bring it on, as we say. Year number 2. All right, that leads us into derivatives. So we're going to quick look at derivatives. The only thing that's really up is the COSA on Pulsechain. That's up 3.2%, and Hedron up there 1% on Ethereum at the moment. Those are the standouts. Everything else is pretty much down. Looking at the stablecoins. What else is looking interesting? Everything is pretty mull. PDI there currently at 5,500th of a penny. Still just consolidating really after that big rally. And of course pullback. So PDI is just chilling there at the moment. Coast at 83 cents. So that's certainly down until they fix up their supplier. And what else? HexDC sitting just under $1. So that was the latest liquidity fork from Power City. Still down there at the moment, so still around $1, but certainly lost that premium that it had at the moment. All right, let's go jump to influencer coins. What have we got here? What's standing out here? Influencer coins. Well, Bromance is doing pretty well. I said this yesterday, didn't I? Man, I've had this. It's crazy. How many strings of bullishness have I been calling out? And then the next day it happens. I haven't even seen this chart since then. Since I said it, I said yesterday, check out Bromance. I said get in early because you might be a nice spec play before Ben Armstrong does his keynote speak later on today. So there we go. It's up 70%. So there we go. I don't know if anyone got into that, but that was the play. That's hilarious. How many times I've been calling that lady. All right, so that is down at it was a big bounce there. It was on the 4-hourly chart, and it's pretty much bounced. So let's go to the hourly chart actually, because where was my live stream? Here's my live stream. This is when I was saying it, right? I was saying it here. It was pretty hilarious. And man, it hyper rallied afterwards. Oh my gosh. Went all the way up to, was it 70/100th of a cent, something like that. So yeah, and it's back down now at just under 600th of a percent of a cent there. So pretty good call. Another one there. That's hilarious. It's making me laugh and chuckle at that one. All right, so that's kind of the standout there. Ben V1. Also, I talked about that too. I said Ben, but it was definitely Bro was going to be the most likely. But Ben might have a late move, right? Might have a late move. So it's up 5% at the moment as well. So there we go. That's pretty much it. All the other influencer coins are down, including SolidX and Steve Hitson's Scuba. They're down the most there. Now let's jump over to all coins on Pulsechain and see what the best performers are. Those are kind of some of the categories. Let's search by 24 hours. So it looks like we've got $21.2 million in total volume the last 24 hours. So, I mean, it's just finished on Monday for the US. Almost finished, or I guess it's on the late afternoon, early evening. And of course, $21 million in there. So that's starting to pick up pace. Hopefully it will get up to 30 plus million. That's kind of where we want to head to during the weekdays, at least, while we're on the down price. 333,000 transactions. So that's a big lift in the transaction numbers. That's doing pretty well. Top performer is a GameStop launching here. I guess it's just launched. Let's see. It's got a Twitter handle. What do we got here? 9 hours and 33 minutes ago. So this is the hourly candles. Had a big move up, then suddenly a big pump. And then it got to 3200th of a penny and just pulled down there at the moment. So there we go. There's a new one there. The quick intel says no issues. Doesn't talk about renounced ownership. It says it's not a honey bot. It's got a lot of rockets in it, so that's positive. Let's quickly look at the Twitter handle. See who this is. So GameStop, GameStop to the moon. What's it? Game on Solana 100 million, on base 5 million, on Pulsechain it's 50k. Basic maths. Biggest LP with Billy out there. So there's a few things out there. Anyway, that is ticking away. How many followers? They got 97, so pretty small. I have no idea who it is, but if you do know, let us know in the chat. So that is a GameStop. That's every day we have 1 or 2 new coins launch, just the way it goes. Billy is out there as well, so it looks like it's associated to Billy, this GameStop. So Billy as well, up 122%. Game is up 956. Very small liquidity on that. So there's Billy and the GME look like they're related to each other. Let's see here. Yeah, pretty rally on that too. Pretty similar there. At the moment, what's it got on the ticker there? No issues, it says. It's actually got a lot more information on there. It all looks pretty good on quick intel. But it's got some red flags on there, so we're not sure why that is. But there we go. Now, Bromance obviously up 70%. The Ben Armstrong one. Ben Armstrong Bromance with Richard Hart, of course. Gifted Wear is doing well, up 32%. And that was doing pretty well yesterday as well. PGIF up as well, 30%. Peach, Freedom of Peach is up 17%. BFF up 15%. And what's it? Chitin there, which has been around for a little while now, up 11%. And Na is up 11% as well. Sack Daddy up 11%. So some of these are making some decent moves. All pretty risky in my view, but they're certainly moving up there. They've got nice big fat liquidity on them. So, arguably they're doing pretty well. So, particularly small liquidity pools can be pretty bad. Just depends on the price that they are at, right? Obviously, under $31, that comes down quite a bit. Then the LP is going to come down in value quite a bit as well. So those are some of the leaders. Other than that, we've got quite a few in the single digits. Have we got any utilities in the single digits? Let's have a look through some of that. Let's have a look here. I guess, well, PGIP's not really it's kind of an ROI protocol, but that's doing pretty well. BBC tokens utility, incentive token, 4.7% on that one, but not a lot. That's really the only one there, is it, in the list? Pretty much. The only one in the green there for the utility side of things, which I prefer. So that's pretty much it on that. Let's go to the Hex daily stats. What do we got? Day 1624, the 13th of May there. What's the payout? 7.195 Hex per T-share, looking pretty good. Share rate, pretty big jump today, 80 on the share rate. Apparently we had all these dot days in there, which is kind of crazy. And the T-shares down 3,900. We've got 9,190,000 T-shares now in the ownership pool on the old Ethereum side. Looking at the reward pool, we've got 1.76 million almost in penalties. Half of that goes to the reward pool here, and that's sitting at 66 million. That goes to all those T-share owners there. Liquid holders up 14, minus down 9, so we're sitting at 883 current miners on the old Ethereum chain. Obviously, Pulsechain always comes out a bit late, but yesterday we had 6.9 on the payout there. But of course, we're waiting for day. What is it? What did we just say it was finished? Day 366. Waiting for that to come out. I think that's what we're waiting for. Or 367? Was it 367? All right. What day are we on? Let's go check that just so we know. I think it's 368. Yeah, so day 367. We're waiting for that to come out. Day 367. All right, that's probably another half an hour or something. All right, that is a wrap up there. 35 minutes. Man, we're doing so fast lately. SKB says you got to keep them validated. Says SKB, you do indeed. Validated is the way to go. All right, that's pretty much it for today. Hope you guys have enjoyed the update on Pulsechain and some of that Richard Hart little blues clues are always exciting to see. We're looking forward to more of that over the next 3 or 4 weeks. Nice call there on the Ben Armstrong. So congratulations if you picked that up. In any case, the Pulsechain conference day 4 is on today. So the last day with the last, I think they're only in hour 2 at the moment. So you can jump onto that. But of course, Ben Armstrong will be speaking probably in 3 or 4 hours for the keynote speak there. All right, take care, everybody. Don't forget to jump in our Discord. The link's in the video description. So join up today. And if you guys haven't checked out Pulse Predict, actually, let me just pull that up actually quickly before we finish things up. I was going to talk about Pulse Predict. So just as a introduction, let's pull that back up. And Pulse Predict at the moment, if you haven't checked it out, in our Discord under the Pulsechain projects, I posted this yesterday after it launched, that the leaderboard had for Pulse Predict, this part of Jacob's ecosystem, that this had actually launched. So the leaderboard is in there. You can see all the winners at the top. John Anthony, Black Girl, many others in here. Canal Warrior. There's many people on this list. And you can be on this list too. So you can get in there and you can start getting on the list. Now, Predict Token is not launched yet. It is launching soon, though. Well, not soon. It's launching in late June. So 42 days and 23 hours away. So what you can do is earn Predict tokens. Now, there are different ways of earning them. Some of them would already have closed, like the sacrifices. So if you'd sacrifice for TYCC, TRRH, PUSD Algo, things like that, PulseBot, you'd have some sacrifice allocations for your tickets. If you do activity, now activity is potentially huge on the site. You can do sports events. You can hit the earn tab, which we're going to look at next, or you can do price predictions and things like that. You can earn Predict tokens through that way. Remember, it's 42 days and 23 hours ago until it launches. And of course, it's going to be major betting, sports betting site here on Pulse Predict. You can stake, of course. You can buy PUSD Algo, and you can stake and get 2% auto earn there. So apparently 500 Pulse for 90 days equals 1.5 million Predict tokens. So that's quite a lot. And of course, NFTs. If you've got some of the TRH NFTs like OG, you can get some. You can get some tokens through that as well. Now, apparently 100 Predict tokens per $1 played from the price predictions or sports events. So that gives you an idea of the ratio there. You can see the leaderboard on the top right. Looks like number 1 is GolfNut. They have 0.839% of the supply, 10.4 million tokens. And you can see the rest of the list there as well. Now, Goldfish, you've been on these sites for PulsePod or Pulse Predict. You know that Goldfish is always one of the top players there. He's sitting at number 4 with 6.8 million points so far. But you can continue to earn. So let's go to the earn. This is just new as well. So we got the leaderboard. But if you want to get on there are some free things you can do without actually doing any betting if you want to do that. Obviously, the more betting you do, the more tokens you earn. So there is how to earn, and you can get to this as well. So there's all these different things. You can connect your wallet to Pulse Predict and get 2,000 just by connecting. So obviously, I'm pretty confident about the site. It's from Jacob. He's well known in the community, so I wouldn't worry too much of that. You can always use a DGN wallet, though. It's up to you. Or use your Sacrifice wallet if you sacrifice for PulsePod or a PUSD or anything like that. You can set a custom name, avatar, and description and get 20,000 Predict tokens. So that's pretty easy to do. You can stake up to 1,000 Pulse, get 2% auto compounding, 50,000 for that. You can so that's an addition I would take to the actual earnings. So that's just to do it. So it's kind of cool. Participate in a Pulse Predict sports event. Obviously, there's a number of events coming up. We're going to talk about that. Create a Pulse Predict quick bet, create a pulse predict advanced bet there, so you can set up your own betting, around Hex price or Pulsechain price, all sorts of things like that. Follow another pulse predict user, so that's free to do. That'd be 5,000. I think that's working, that feature. You can follow a supported asset, so you can follow a token like Pulsechain and click the follow, and you'll earn 5,000 predict tokens. So there's lots of easy ways to earn stuff without actually betting. Win a quick bet, win an advanced bet, get a follower. So if someone follows you, you get 15,000 predict tokens just for that, so you can tell your friends. Win more than 100 in a single bet, get 50,000. Lose a bet, quick bet, 15,000. Place in the global top 10, 50,000. Place in the global top 50. Now, what they're talking about is the rankings. So if you get in these top rankings, every day there's an airdrop. So every 24 hours there's an airdrop. So if you're in these top rankings, you could have the chance of getting those bonus points there based on the earns. So if you're in the top, let's say you're in the top 10, you get 50,000. If you're in the global top 50, you get 15,000. That's pretty easy. So as long as you stay in the top 50, you're going to get 15,000, right? That's pretty neat. So these are the top 50 list here. Apparently there's someone called Eric Wall in there, so I don't know. That is pretty much it. Now, obviously, you can do lots of earnings. You can play the price predictions. You get obviously predict tokens for that. Remember, these tokens aren't going to be launching trading on the market until late in June. I think it's about 23rd of June, something like that. 42 days or whatever it was. So you can play bets in here. You can set up your own bets by creating a bet, and people can jump in on those bets, and you can bet against other people. It's peer-to-peer, remember? Oh, there's a new one just popped up there. Look at that, Hex. Just popped up as we spoke, so someone just set that up. $40, so $40 up there as well. This one is currently in play. So we've got Eric Wall versus Tombos here, playing $5 for a COSA price. So I think the COSA price, and so that really is the mark. So whoever's at the moment, it looks like Eric Wall's winning because the price is above. But if the price goes below that red line, then Tombos is going to win the deal. And there's only 16 minutes to go in here at the moment on this particular game. So that's playing around there. A lot of people playing this for fun. And of course, the other one, of course, sports events are coming up. So sports events for this month are huge, absolutely huge. I mean, you got the Fury Earth fight coming up on the 18th of May, so you'll be able to bet on that. They typically have several $1,000s on each of these games, and it probably has a good chance of growing. They're going to have the Qatar Formula One coming up on the 26th of May, and then the Indy 500 on the 26th of May as well. So two big racing events coming up in May. And of course, they've got lots more in June. The July, of course, going to have the big bout there coming up as well. Mike Tyson and Jake Paul. So that's going to be pretty cool to be able to bet on that as well. So there's lots of cool things here on the sports and price prediction betting. And of course, you can earn some of those options to earn are free. So you just have to sign up, and do things like that. So pretty easy to do. I'll post that in the chat here if you want to check it out. And bam, there we go. That's how we rock and roll here. Let's see what else. Thank you, Hex Token Sandy Beach. You're most welcome. Thank you, says Albertina, the legend. Let's go. P-Dye says Arizona. Yeah, we saw that's consolidating at month 5,500 of the penny. Jacob is an asset to the Pulsechain system. Top absolutely is, absolute champion. And of course, if you want to get on that, folks, start earning some free Pulse Predict or betting to earn more, that is the play to be. Get on there and just sign up and get a profile and go for gold. Pretty cool. Yeah, so there's lots of different tickets. You can check out all the leaderboards there. They've got the docs as well if you want more information. And the Predict token there. Still plenty of time to get it because 42 days and 23 hours to launch. And yeah, so pretty cool. Get yourself on the leaderboard. Start earning tokens today. That's some things you can do. Definitely check it out. Do your own due diligence, all that good stuff. But a big shout out there to Jacob and his crew for that. All right, I think we're definitely going to wrap up now. 45 minutes. How about that? It was almost 10 minutes just talking about that. All right, let us get into it. We're going to play the Magic Cup right on the way out. Hope you guys enjoy it. Richard Hart is bullish. We should be bullish too. Year number 2, folks. Enjoy and accumulate. That's all I can say. And I'll catch you again tomorrow. Enjoy, everybody. And enjoy the Pulsechain conference, which is on today as well. Day number 4, the final one. All right, bye for now.
In theory, if someone were a billionaire and they had like all this money, why wouldn't they just buy more of the thing they liked instead of dumping the thing they liked? Like if Bezos bought shares in Amazon, would you be pissed off? If Apple does a stock buyback and they buy more of their own shares in their company back from the public, which is a way to turn earnings into yield for the shareholders, do you get mad and yell at Apple? And so we had to come up with a word for this fan fiction fantasy, which is the opposite of a rug pull, called a magic carpet ride. And so if you're worried about risk of a rug pull, what weighted value have you given the risk of a magic carpet ride? And it's just hilarious to me.